I'm uploading 3 days today, and I'm responding to this viewer here who left a comment and wasn't rude or anything. So I wanted to just give a nice response real quick and explain why this looks so weird. Because I know it is probably weird. And in my mind, like, I'm gonna cope and say, pretty much everyone probably looks weird doing push-ups their own way, but regardless, there is some sort of standard that we look at, and this is clearly not it, right? This looks off. Something about this is not right, and people have been talking about that. They've been saying, like, correct your form. They've been saying, um, like, do this, do that. I won't get too into it. And even I got a comment recently by Runner Boy, who said he was doing my style of push-ups, and I thought, great, but I honestly didn't know what he meant because they're so weird that, like, I don't know what part he's talking about. There's a lot to cover here, and I actually did handcraft this exercise like Hephaestus crafting a new weapon, right, to fight the freaking Titans with. I crafted this beauty of a movement based on just some completely, I guess it's not arbitrary information anymore because I put it to use, but it was completely arbitrary information. And I'll just jump right into it. So the comment says, "You've already read it by now. I don't understand why you are doing push-ups that way. Can you explain? I'm legit curious. I've never seen this way before." And I wrote down a few things to mention. So first off, my hands are rotated, right? My fingers are not facing forward, they're rotated outwards. And when you do that motion where you rotate your hand outward and even to point your fingers to the floor, to your toes, the more you rotate that way out, external rotation, the more you activate your upper chest when pushing, right? So if you can imagine you're doing a bench press, but instead of holding the bench press, the barbell with, your knuckles going up, you're holding them with your knuckles facing your feet. Your knuckles are facing down. And this motion allows you to activate a lot more of the upper chest, even more so than doing an incline bench press based on like certain studies. Okay. And this means the more you rotate out your hand, the more upper chest activation you're getting. And by rotating my hands outwards, I'm training my upper chest, right? I'm not solely focusing on the lower chest, but there is some upper chest activation. And I've even done some planche style push-ups, some gymnastics push-ups where you have the hands facing actually completely down. They're facing your toes. And this seems like a really awkward position for most people. And it is a much harder variation of the push-up, but there are certain benefits to it in that it does train a part of your chest that you normally are not training doing regular push-ups. So that's why my hands are like this. You can't really see from this angle, maybe you could tell, but my hands are placed wide on the floor, right? Wider than shoulder width, because I found that that is the best position for my shoulder and elbow health in the long term. If you watch Ivan Jurek, which is kind of a niche thing to ask, but I feel like my viewers might watch Ivan Jurek. I think a few of them do. He recently spoke about the wide grip bench press, and he's totally on point with that. The wide grip has helped me tremendously with doing more push-ups because it doesn't strain my shoulders that much. The closer I bring my hands in, the closer like I bring my hands together when doing the push-up, the much more strain I feel on my elbow and my shoulder. And I just found that doing a wide stance makes it way easier. I even heard David Goggins talking about this, and it's just something that I've taken on because I do so many reps. I found that this is just easier. Like, it was a lot of strain to do push-ups with the narrow stance, so I had to change it. And that's pretty much with my hands. That's about everything that I think there's to mention. I don't think, like, am I flaring my elbows out? Is that what you're talking about? I don't know exactly what people mean when they say this is weird form, but I do have some ideas. So I talked about the hand width, right? The stance, the grip, whatever you want to call it. I talked about the external rotation of the hand. Maybe you're referring to the fact that my back, my upper back, is kind of arching at the top. And this is a whole conversation in and of itself. But in the planche push up, you want to go into a hollow body position, right? I'm not doing a planche push up here. I'm just stating a fact. In the planche push up, you should be in the hollow body position. And my goal is to eventually get to that hard progression of push up. That's my goal. I want to get really good at these. I want to eventually get to planche push ups. And to get there, I'm going to have to practice the hollow body position. And this is just one thing that I've been trying out for about the past 10,000 push ups is I'm going into the hollow body at the top. I'm really trying. I'm not doing it so much lately, but I'm still trying a little bit to really push my scapula forward and just push at the top and lock out my elbows. And I know I'm not doing it every single rep, and it doesn't even look that it looks like bad on camera. I'll admit that. It doesn't look like I'm fully locking out my elbows. I don't know why that is. Even when I fully lock out my elbows, it doesn't really look like they are. And I don't know how to explain that. I guess my arms maybe just aren't straight, or maybe due to the camera angle, because I mean, from a certain angle, my arms are at an angle. Like, it's not just like a straight line. Uh, in like one plane it is, but yeah, I don't know. I can't explain like imbalances in my anatomy. I guess I could use that. Yeah, like I guess sorry, I'm an imbalanced person. So it doesn't really look like that good when I'm locked out at the top. But I'm actually trying to go even higher. And I'm not doing it every rep, I'm not perfect, but I am still doing that. And I really should be doing it more, but I found that it kind of really tires out the back doing that. And that's just cool. That's like so weird thinking about like doing push-ups because it's so many push-ups, hundreds of push-ups a day. You start feeling stuff that you weren't even working with just because everything gets so lit up. That's what high volume does, and it really is a miracle. The fact that my body's still holding up at this point. I've been doing these 200 plus push-ups a day for how long? Like maybe a month now? I don't know. I'm not counting, but this 3 more days, I'm getting off topic. The back is rounding a little at the top. Maybe that's what you're referring to. I am trying to touch my chest to the floor and lock out my elbows at the top. Now I am doing kind of like a soft lockout, if you could call it that. I feel the point where I think like that's good, and then I go back for another rep because the hard lockout, when I was really trying to push my scapula forward and get into that hollow body position, when I was really trying to do that, uh like I said, it was a lot of strain on the back. And maybe that's me slacking, and maybe that's me coping, and I'll admit that. But a rep is a rep, and I'm counting these reps. And one other thing I'll mention is my butt, like how high it gets, because what I'm trying to do is keep it parallel with at least my back. I don't want my butt going too high. I will admit, when I like stop, when I've finished a set of 10, Sometimes my butt, I'll lift it up, but still I count that rep because like I'll do the rep and then like, I just freaking am moving, and I don't know. I'm not really sure what people are referring to. I think I covered it. I think it really is mostly just the fact that I'm doing the pseudo planche, like I'm trying to kind of do the hollow body, and that looks kind of silly. And also, I am doing the external rotation of the hands. Maybe even the wide grip looks weird. I think altogether it just looks weird because when you externally rotate the hands, my position of my elbow now changes as well. And now, actually, the position, or maybe let's say the line of like the movement of my head is also different. Like, am I going straight up and down? Um, Probably not. Like, actually, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really thought about this stuff too much. In weightlifting, people talk about like the bar path. The path of the barbell, right? Viewed from the side. The path of the barbell, they want it to follow a very efficient path. And that means when you're squatting, you don't stagger. And really, you're trying to just go straight up and down. That really is the most efficient way. And when we look at elite lifters, sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes they're swaying a little bit. Sometimes, maybe due to a muscle imbalance or something, they are moving in a way that would not appear optimal, but still works. And that just is the case of life, is sometimes things work in imperfect conditions. And that's really most of what's going on, is we're not living in perfect conditions all the time, and there is things like suffering. And I don't know what people are talking about with the push-ups. All right, I'm not sure. I think it is just that my hands are externally rotated, and for some reason that's blowing people's minds. But there is a reason. It works your upper chest. I'm trying to touch my chest to the floor, folks. I really am. I'm trying to lock my elbows out at the top. Really trying. I know I don't get it every rep. I know I don't. I think the footage looks pretty good. I literally count every single push up that I do. I count every single one. Every single one I've done so far, I've counted. And actually, because I edit these videos and I count them, I have the tally. I actually count them twice. Okay, so while I'm doing them, I count them, and then when I go back and edit and create the videos, right? When I do that, I am counting them again, and these are fine. These push-ups in my book are like totally legit. I'm chilling, right? I'm on top of it right now. I'm super satisfied with how this has been going. This challenge so far, and it's just the beginning of it, right? It's just the beginning. I've only been doing it for a month. I've been doing 200 push-ups a day at least, and in reality, I've been hitting at least 250 a day. So that's a really good place to be at. And I was just thinking that this is what I want to do. This is really it. Like, I want to dive into this, and like thinking, like while I'm doing my push-ups, it feels like I'm diving, right? A push-up is a diving motion. You are falling. You are resisting gravity. It is so cool. It's so sweet. It makes me think back to when I would swim. I used to do a lot of swimming, a whole lot of swimming. I was a swimmer for a couple of years, and just diving into the water every day, day in and day out, you develop a feeling for it, for diving in the water. And that is like neat, that we just can adapt to so many different environments. Even this, at one point in time, I was spending 2 hours a day swimming, right, in the water. Now, some days I spend 2 hours doing push-ups, just free falling, constantly falling and picking myself back up, doing hundreds of push-ups a day. It's cool. It's just cool to see life develops and changes in so many surprising new ways when we're grateful for what we have and when we can appreciate it and make use of it, right? Utilize it, take care of it. We can, really see some beautiful things. And this life is really beautiful. Despite all the tragedy and suffering that may occur, there's so much beauty to be had and to be seen all around us. And again, thank you to this new viewer who left this comment. I don't even know if you're going to watch this video, but I appreciate you for even stopping by, looking at these funny looking push-ups. I want all my new viewers to consider achieving victory on a day-to-day basis. Consider it for yourself. Think about how far it'll take you. Just like stringing a couple wins together, think about what it takes for you to call a day a success. There was a time, like 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where if I worked out, that's the only thing I needed. That was literally the only thing I needed. And I didn't need social contact. I didn't need anything. I just needed to know, like, I'm gonna go to the gym today and I would be okay. And that would make everything else okay. And living through that makes me appreciate so much more now the opportunity to take on a huge challenge like this. And everything else that I have too, everything that's come to me since then. Thank you, new viewer. I really appreciate that comment. Sometimes the little comments get you, and I want to be more conscious about what kind of comments I get, because really I do read them all. I think people should read their comments, because at the end of the day, this is some sort of reflection of me, even though to a certain degree it's not, and some people are extremely disconnected. Yeah, a lot of the comments are going to be reflective of what I've said, and if I say something dumb, the comments are going to reflect that. I'm not going to get likes. I'm going to get ratioed, and you just have to be real. You have to know what's going on, and you can't fake it in certain instances. You have to not just lie and make stuff up, and you have to know what you're talking about, and that's results. Thank you for watching. This was a long one. I did 850 push-ups over the course of 3 days. Adding that to my 50,785 brings me up to 51,635 push-ups completed so far. Thank you for watching. Click that link below to work one-on-one with me and get in the best shape of your life. I hope to be speaking with you soon. Bye.